Hey everybody, it's Michael with Bay Area Hiking Guides, giving that information, giving you that knowledge to go out there and hike with confidence. And today we are going to be talking about the proper storage of your tents and sleeping bags, all those wonderful things that always come together when it comes to backpacking or camping. Definitely the items that you end up pulling out of your old closet or garage or wherever it is that you have those things. We're going to be talking more deeper into it. How do you properly store that stuff? The sleeping bags and the tents. It's a big question, and some people are doing it wrong, and we're going to be talking about that. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to Bay Area Hiking Guides, and we're going to be talking about the topic of proper storage for your sleeping bags and your tents. It's a big thing, and especially when you come down to down sleeping bags, it's definitely a pretty important thing for those guys as well. There's kind of a whole routine you want to end up doing. But some people go out there and they go camping, they enjoy themselves, have a good old time, maybe with the in-laws. I always mention the in-laws are always fun people. Because some of you, maybe you don't camp until spring or summer, and you got that stuff stored away until you go out there and kick the door down and go explore the great outdoors yet again. So we're going to be talking about the storage and how you need to be going about doing that, because there's some people that are doing it wrong, or there's some companies that have kind of put out this whole message out there that that's the right way to do it when it's really not. So we're going to get more into that. So we're going to be talking about sleeping bags first, and then I'm going to go outside and we're going to talk about tents because I got some stuff hung up. I just got back from Henry Cove. We were dealing with several different elements. We dealt with a little bit of wind, nothing too serious, but we were dealing with frost, tons and tons of frost in the morning. We were dealing with the wet dew that you get in the morning, good stuff. So we need to go ahead and make sure everything is properly taken care of when we come back home, and then get it all properly stored yet again so the cycle repeats itself and it continues on. How do you take care of them, Bill? Well, let me tell you how you do that. Alrighty. Just get this open here. It's a moment of your time. It should not take any time at all. Come on. Make a little joke there, keeping it lively. Now, a lot of the stuff that you see out there, you might see pictures of people with sleeping bags that are rolled, and then they got the straps that you roll around them. You know, that kind of stuff. You've probably seen that before. Probably from a Coleman product, nonetheless. God, I love Coleman so much. Coleman, if you ever contact me and you want me to go ahead and sponsor your equipment, you can forget it. What that does, especially for down sleeping bags, breaking the fibers down in the same direction instead of putting them in a sack, a stuff sack, where you're doing it in just random opposite directions. And that's going to ultimately increase the life of your sleeping bag. That's right, your sleeping bags do eventually die. Not the way that we usually are normal to, like we go to the cemetery or anything like that and bury the sleeping bag 6 feet under. No. But it does die. And it's really important to understand that keeping your sleeping bag's life longer is better. That's ultimately the better way to go. And what you want to do is when you bring it home, you want to stuff it into a stuffed sack. Now, I do have a stuffed sack with me right now. Oh, let's see if I can find it in here. God, I got so much stuff. I think I've even got my prom tuxedo in here. So I have a stuffed sack, and this is what came with my Sea to Summit bag, and I stuff it inside of there. This works great. Doesn't have to be a fancy dancy. You don't have to go to REI and break the bank. So you can hang the bag, and that'll help air it out, and it's going to retain that loft, and it's not going to get all clustered into one area. Especially if it gets a little wet. You don't want to get down wet, but if it gets a little wet, you can kind of dry that out before you put it in the closet. You want to make sure you have a nice dry closet or an area to store it. You don't want to have an area you're next to a window where the sun can deteriorate it, or you don't want to have an area where it gets a lot of moisture. Maybe you live in an area that's a little bit more moist. You know, you could live in an area like Marin. And you want to make sure it's an area that does not have any mold. Now, if you do have an area where you've got mold, you have a lot of moisture in your house, or maybe, you know, Aunt Patty likes to smoke a pack a day. That's possible. You know, you don't want to get that smoke residue onto your bag. Thanks, Patty. We appreciate it. We understand. What you can do here is you can put it into a plastic bin, storage bin, and people end up doing that instead of going to REI and buying a sack. Because I have a stuff sack like you have here that I put in for my Sea to Summit. And this came with the bag, and I usually will put all my liners and my sleeping bags in there to keep it nice and clean and to keep that loft all good to go. But it's important that you have some kind of sack. If it's going to be a laundry bag, you can use that as well. But if you really want to go a step up and keep Aunt Patty's smoking residue out of the air, or if you want to go ahead and you know keep the moisture out, you can go ahead and get a bin that's a good size that's going to fit the bag in there. That works too. And you want to go ahead and fold it. Do not roll it, Coleman. Don't roll your bag. Even when you're hiking and you're backpacking, don't roll your bag. You want to go ahead and make sure that bag's stuffed into your backpack, and you don't want to roll it. That's not going to be any good, okay? So stuffing it into your bag is the best way to go, or you can stuff sack it. I just stuff it so I can get a little nooks and crannies and do it that way. Otherwise, you're buying a backpack, your sleeping bag, like every other year. You know, you don't want to do that. Take care of your equipment, because trust me, it'll come right back at you down the road, just like your children. I don't have any, so I wouldn't know, but I'm sure the same philosophy applies. Oh boy, sure as heck applied to me, didn't it? I want to rearrange, and then I'll hang the bags on here as well that they're going to come with. So I got it all ready to go. It's all organized, prepped, so when it comes down to the next trip, I'm game on. And I put those all over. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about sleeping tents and bivvies and all this other stuff that I have hung up here. I got a footprint. So we'll go ahead and talk about why I've got them hung up here. It's always important to hang up your items, whether it's tents or bivvies or your footprints. You want to hang them up. I got a nice sunny day today. Let's take advantage of that. And the reason you want to do this is because you want to dry them out. You don't want them to get moldy. I've run into problems. Trust me, I've run into them. And you want to go ahead and dry them out so you don't get that mold or mildew or anything of that nature. It's not good for you, and it's definitely not good for your tent. So keep that into mind when you are after your trip. So when you're backpacking and you're moving from point to point, it might get a little moist, and there's only so far that you can go, and that's fine. Just keep it in your tent, and when you come home, you can dry it out. And sometimes I'll lay it out in the sun and try to dry it out as best as I can when I'm getting everything all packed up, and then I'll try to pop it in there. But if you can't, shove it in there. Make sure it's either in a sack or something that's away from down or something else that you don't want to get wet, because you do not want to run into that problem where things are getting a little wet, and it's not going to be fun for anybody. And then I dry them out, and once that usually will go on a nice sunny day like this, it should take a day, and then I go ahead and I get them all stuffed up in the sack, good to go, and then I'll either store them in a garage, or store them in the closet, or I'll store them in a nice dry, safe area away from any thieves. But I'll keep it in a storage area. You don't want to put it in your attic. In your attic, what you're going to basically happen, you're going to have all that heat that's coming up on the roof, and that's going to create about a 20 to 30 degrees increase in the attic, and it's not going to be fun for anybody. So going ahead and storing this into the attic is not a good idea, because it's too much heat. So I'll put them in the garage, and sometimes the garage around here does get a little hot, and sometimes I'll transfer that stuff back to the house. You want to keep it in a nice, away from the sun, and preferably pretty cool area, cool and dry. And if you're concerned, you can always store it into a container of some kind, a plastic container if you need to. Or you can, put a bag around it. And then, bammo. So, the liner is something that helps you... Oh, sorry, dog. I'm going to scare you there on your birthday. The footprint's really important to have this at the bottom of the tent, and that prevents the tent from getting holes and vice versa. And REI tends to like to sell these things separately, because that's another way that they can just take a little bit of money out of your pocket. Now, they don't like REI. They just can be a little pricey sometimes. And my bivvy, I know, all this stuff. You don't necessarily have to have these. These are kind of an SOL products to make good stuff. I've tested these guys out. I've field tested them in some pretty extreme situations. We were dealing with degrees that were like middle mid to high 20s just a few days ago, and I had this guy. It was frosty. Beth was sleeping without a tent in mid to high 20s. She used the SOL bivy, and that really helped keep her warm. And she was complaining about being too hot. Really good product. We've tested it, and you can also use this for emergencies. But it's good to use this guy, and you wear it, pop your bivy in there, and you're game on. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. Really appreciate it. All the comments, the likes. I'm trying to, keep up with all of you guys as well. I've just been super busy transferring to this new job. I get phone calls every day, so I gotta. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and keep hiking. Get out there. We got beautiful, beautiful days, especially a day like today. Get out there and enjoy some hiking, because we get the wildflowers that are coming up pretty soon. We've been seeing milkmaids. I saw some lupins the other day. Oh, and I went up to Henry Cove and a real far away off the grid area, and I felt just pockets of blankets of shooting stars. So that was really cool. All right, guys. Take care. Ah, there's some stuff up here I didn't even know I had. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You weren't taking me seriously before, you are now. God, how long has this been in the closet for? This is nice. I'm going to take this to a party or something. Be like, hey, what's going on? I think we need to add one more item to the ensemble. What do you think? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. All right, boys. Let's go ahead and jump out of the plane. We're going to be hitting some wind of heavy degrees, and I tell you, we need to jump, and we need to jump out of the plane now. I need you to parachute at roughly about 2,000 feet, and when you do, you're going to hit the ground, so get your feet a-rolling. Any questions? How you doing? What's going on? Right, yeah. Sandy, always looking sharp. All righty. Go up or pass. Go for a long one. The scarf completes the ensemble. I just gotta find some pants. What's that in there? So, I don't know what's going on in there, but, maybe. Oh, man. You complete me. You complete me, outfit. This Thanksgiving, which is a ways off, I'm wearing this. I want to turn some heads. How long has this been in there for? Oh, you know what I'm going to wear this at? High school reunion night. Oh yeah. All right. Playtime's over.